Alright, guys, it's been a while, but I am back with another load show after I don't even know how long. But I've been off the air, I've been out and about doing my own thing, and now I'm back here in front of you talking about stuff and things. Not all at once, but no, but seriously, actually today I want to talk about, two different shows, and one is a fan film, or was a fan film. So, first on my agenda is Orville. Orville is a brainchild of Brian. Did it again. All day I've been wanting to call this guy Brian. I don't know why. Seth MacFarlane. And it's totally based off Star Trek. It is in my opinion it actually keeps in spirit of Star Trek, with the different races that you see. You even see it in the trailer. The use of a CGI to actually put a character that's basically a blob. Think of like Jello person, or Jello whatever, and like he accidentally steps through the guy. He's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, And that's so something you would see in Star Trek, It's not out of the realm of possibility. And if Gene would have had the technology to do a CGI like this, I'm sure he totally would have. I mean, that to me is cool. He's got Jonathan Frakes on board to help direct. He's got I can't even think of the guy's name who played Tom Paris on Voyager. What was his name? Robert Duncan McNeil. I mean, come on. You got some good stuff going on. You got people who want to make appearances on the show already. Some of them were actually in Star Trek. So I'm going, yeah. And it's only right. And I love it. I love it because this isn't a fan film of Star Trek. So CBS cannot pull their BS. And they cannot be like, you worked for us on Star Trek. You can't appear in this because it is generic. Even though its roots are clearly Star Trek, it is not called Star Trek. It is something totally, of its own. This guy designed this because he loved Star Trek and he loved Twilight Zone. Great franchises. Amazing franchises. It's gonna be great because you like I said, you see a blob guy. And he's not coming at you, he's not attacking you, he's part of the crew. And it's just like a normal day at the office, and the guy gets in a hurry and steps through him, and he's like, oh my god, I am so sorry. He's like, no, are you okay, man? Even though it's meant to be hilarious, it's still Star Trek. I don't care who you are, it really is. Alright. So I have it wrote down here. Let me find it real quick. It's set to air this year, September 10th. So, and that is on Fox. Let's all hope that Fox doesn't do something goofy like canceling it, because we all remember Firefly. Or if not, look it up on Netflix. Okay. next one that's up there, but in my opinion, I think Orville's gonna actually get more view time, is Star Trek Discovery. I don't know. I have mixed emotions about it. Primarily because it's been 15 years since CBS has done anything with Star Trek. I mean, yeah, okay, we've had the movies, the reboots, where, you know, you have the JJ verse and the JJ prize and blah, blah, blah. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know. They say that this is to be set in the prime timeline. I hope so. You know, I know he screwed up the timeline, but you can't go back past where you done screwed up the timeline. Either that or it'd be like, I broke physics. So anyway, they are saying this 10 years before the 5-year mission. So who knows? We may actually get to see the USS Enterprise under the original commander. I don't know. I think it could be an amazing thing, but I guess time will tell. Now, if you look at the bridge, it kind of looks like something we saw in Star Trek Beyond. Or it looks like something between what we saw in Star Trek Beyond, and it looks like something from Enterprise. So, you know, we'll kind of, I guess it would be a mesh of the two well, not even the two universes, but just a mesh of it, I guess. So it'll be very interesting to see how this comes about. I mean, the Klingons don't even look like Klingons, you know, and the trailers aren't really telling us anything. So I'm hoping that it's basically like what they did with Star Trek Beyond. The trailers really make it look like the movie was gonna be a great thing, and then you go and see it and you're like, oh my god, okay, you know, where it actually was a good movie. So, you know, and they're actually going to wind up working this show into timelines, Star Trek timelines. You know, the phone game. So if you guys do that, expect to see stuff from the show in timelines. Because, I mean, who knows, maybe you can actually fix the timeline. God knows JJ can't. So, let's see, what else have we got? Oh, yeah. You guys need to know when this thing airs. Supposedly right now, as of right now, it's set to air on CBS September 24th. The rest of the ones will actually be put on CBS All Access, and I've heard different things that actually might be going on Netflix as well. So I don't know. Like I said, I have mixed emotions because of what CBS did to the fan films. And it's not really the restrictions, it's their property, they can do what they want. But with them leaving their rules so open-ended that basically the slightest infringement, they, in theory, could come after whoever they wanted for anything they wanted. I mean, my God, you can't even have a actor from one of the series come on and, play a role. That to me is not cool. Especially if you're not paying them. If they're just like, hey, this looks cool, can I join in? Sure. Who am I to tell you no? Especially if it feels like William Shatner or or Patrick Stewart. That would be cool. Brent Spiner. Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. There'd be no. I've seen this guy on Comic Cons or like the panels, on YouTube. This guy's off his rocker and it's hilarious. I love watching these guys when they're on panels and whatever, because it's just them as them, and it's like, wow, you guys really, really do have some unique personalities. I like you. It's not just because they're like my childhood heroes. Just some of them just seem like the type of people that you could just, go have a beer with. That's me. Anyway, so that's with Star Trek Discovery. I'm not gonna really go into detail. Trek Yards have gone into detail over stuff like this and whatever. And they've even talked somewhat about Orville. Star Trek Renegades. Tim Ross did this as a fan film. And he, like said, he was going to pitch this to CBS. And they turned him down. So, because of their rules, he actually had to, in order to comply and keep the actors like Chekhov and hang on. I know you guys are probably going, you can't remember his name. Oh, no, not really. So, like, to keep Walter Hagen as Chekhov, because he is one of the main characters for the show, fan film, what have you want to call it. Him and his team had to change everything. Well, not everything per se, but like they couldn't use Federation. They had to start calling it Confederation. The ships no longer looked like starships from, the Trekverse. They no longer were using warp drive. It was slipstream. There was a couple other things that they changed, and in my mind, I'm okay with it. Number one, because it's his thing. He wanted to make this thing to show CBS that it was something that, they could produce. Apparently CBS disagreed. So Tim Russ and his team decided, hey, let's make our own thing. Which I think is an amazing idea. So I like where Tim Russ and his team took Star Trek Renegades. They renamed it to Renegades. So they actually could keep Walter as Chekhov. And they had Uhura, because I've actually seen the second episode, and they're working on the third. The only thing is, though, is they had to change things around. So, like, the uniforms looked different. There were no insignias, and things like that. Like the little badge deal that they wear, things like that. But what I did like in the second show was that Walter was able to reference the movies they played in a little bit without referencing the movies. And only Star Trek fans who have seen the movies and who have seen his role would understand these things. Anyone else outside of the Trekverse would have just been like, oh, okay, I guess we'll learn more about that later. And me, I'm sitting there going, yes, you did. That happened in that movie. I really, I tip my hat to what Renegades did. That reminds me, Orville is doing less CGI and more models, just like how they did in Star Trek. The Star Trek did a lot of modeling work. If you do modeling, it actually will cut back on the amount of money that's spent, because you're not spending 50, 60 grand or whatever, that's an arbitrary number on a CGI crew, people to fill in, whatever. So, like I said, I'm really impressed by the changes they made, the adaptations that they did. It's still sad to see that they were not able to just keep with Star Trek, because that to me is an amazing story that they could have gone with. Kind of like with Axanar. That's another sad tragedy. Words are hard. Another tragedy that actually got this whole CBS thrown down the gauntlet with these rules. That's what got it all started and whatever. But hey, anyway, I am gonna shut up. I have rambled on enough. I'm sure you guys are gonna shut up. So, okay. I tell you what, guys. If you like it, do one of these. If you didn't, do one of those. Subscribe somewhere in there. And if you want to hear me talk about something, review something, whatever, comment down below. Just comment down below anyway. Please, no hate comments. Criticism, yes. Hate, no. Come on, guys. Come on. We're grown up-ish here, right? Alright. I'm out. Have a good one.